classes, Virginia. My name is Kelsey Sapp, and I'm here with Morgan Cox and Rebecca Groton. We're all seniors in the education program at Radford. Today, we're going to be showing you how you could use the children's book, The Fiesta Dress, by Karen McNally-McCormick to do both a math and a global connections lesson in your classroom. We chose this book because it has great illustrations, and we like that the book incorporated Spanish vocabulary throughout the story. So to give you a quick synopsis of the book, Lolo is the youngest member in a very large family, and she loves the attention she receives as the baby. In the Fiesta dress, Eva, Lolo's oldest sister, is approaching her 15th birthday and preparing for her quinceañera. So the family's attention is no longer on Lolo. Throughout the story, Lolo seems to really enjoy the freedom of not having the attention on her. She gets into a lot of trouble, like stealing the older girl's makeup, sneaking tamales in her pocket, and swinging on the tree she's not allowed to climb on in the backyard. Lolo gets a little carried away with her newfound freedom and lets the dog, Gobi, out of the laundry room. After Gobi escapes, he snatches Eva's special stash for her quinceañera dress. Lolo knows she has to fix her mistake and rescue the stash. She learns that doing the right thing is the best attention one can receive, and they all really enjoy the fiesta. So our author is Karen McNally-McCormick, and this is her first children's book, and she was inspired to write this book because she grew up in Texas and saw many of her friends celebrate quinceañeras, and she thought that was really interesting because she didn't have anything like that in her own culture. So she thought it would be a good way to share that culture with some different people who had never been exposed to that. She currently lives in Los Altos, California with her family.
All right, the math connections we're focusing on from this book are the number 15 and birthday years. We're going to use these concepts to show how students can decompose numbers, use number sense, and learn about ordinal numbers. And here are, we're showing just Virginia standards of learning and how they compare to the Common Core math standards. For our math lesson, students will display number sense using the number 15 and design a number line using ordinal numbers. At the beginning of the lesson, the teacher will ask students to what they think a fiesta is, and then what they do for special events and for their birthdays. And we'll be reading the Fiesta dress, and then if you don't have access to the book, we've included a link to a read aloud. And after the read aloud, students will construct a number sense chart, and this is what it's going to look like for you. This way they can see and visualize and even decompose numbers and just consider different ways the number 15 is. Next, you should talk about how birthdays can compare to ordinal numbers. So students will design a number line, making sure to add ST to the number 1, so it's first, and D to 2, so it says second, and so on. And to identify the specific numbers, this instructor will tell students to put a check on the most recent birthday they had. For most students in second grade, the number 7 will be checked. Next, the instructor will say, in the book, Eva just had her 15th birthday. Put an X where you wrote 15th on your number line. Now, put a dot on the number line that says 4th. Lolo just had her 4th birthday.
For our global connections, a few ways that we would have our students understand and recognize global connections and perspectives would be using pictures and videos from birthday celebrations from different countries, and they would observe similarities and differences in the pictures provided. They would read Birthdays Around the World and investigate the book using a graphic chart, and they would discuss the different cultures discussed in the text on the chart. One way we would have students investigate would be using how do we celebrate birthdays in the United States and how do people celebrate birthdays in other cultures and countries, and what are some customs used to celebrate birthdays around the world, and then asking them what ideas do they like from other countries that they would like to integrate into their birthday. One way that we would have them connect and integrate, we would have them work in partners to find answers to the questions that they had previously asked. They would create a Venn diagram to compare and contrast two different countries' birthday celebrations, such as their own at a different country. One way that we really thought would engage students to communicate would have a system of pen pals set up so that they could converse with other countries' classrooms and how they celebrate birthdays. And at the end of our unit, we would probably send a care package to another country to that classroom with items and stuff of how students in the United States celebrate their birthdays. And here are some pictures of the books that we were discussing, Birthdays Around the World, and the chart that goes with the book. And the chart discusses things from each country. For the lesson that we would do for Global Connections, as previously mentioned, would be using a KWL chart. Students would develop questions about their country's birthdays, customs to research. They would put the questions with what they want to know in the middle of the chart and what they know about their own birthday in the far left column. The students would work jigsaw style to research one country from a provided list that we would give them, and they would research that country and put what they learned in the far right column. They would be provided with websites previously selected by us and books to use to research with, and then they would write 2 or 3 sentences explaining their country's birthday celebrations. And then they would get into groups with their classmates and discuss about the country they researched. And here are resources that we used. All the links are listed below.
Thank you so much.